Hi, everybody. So we've been of alchemy. I'm Rick Barrett. Welcome. We're going to expand our five energy gates. Remember, we talked about the five energy gates in the arm, where we talked about the scapula, the shoulder, elbow, wrist, and fingers. So every movement needs to get those engage those energy gates so that the chi flows freely. We unkink the hose and we're able to express that internal power. So the direction we're going to go this week is we're going to incorporate that with the legs. And so there we've been doing it already, but we're going to kind of slow it way down and really look at it and isolate these different qualities here. Um, so when you think about the legs, the one that's most common is getting the qual, getting that very sung. What does that mean? That means that we are no longer pushing away from the earth, but we're settling down into the earth, and we're allowing the hip joint to the hip muscles to soften, so that we are finding the alignment that allows the energy to move freely throughout the whole system. And so a lot of that has to do with getting the alignment, correct, moving, getting your pelvic bowl level, and it also has to do with the whole leg, aligning the hip joint with the knee. So that's another energy gate there. Getting your knee in proper alignment then allows you to be able to trust your hip joint, your quad, to do the work that it's designed to do. And then we get into the foot, and we have the three nails, and so each of those is its own gate. And I think should we include ankle? I think that ankle kind of is dependent on the knee and the foot. So I'm kind of leaving that out for the time being. We're just focusing on the foot and the three nails in the foot. So that is on the medial line, the big toe line of the foot, in the heel, the ball of the foot, and the big toe, and that bringing our awareness to those activates these gates there. So we have actually five gates. If you look at each nail as a gate, you can look at the whole foot as a gate. But let's say we have five energy gates there. We have the three in the foot, we have the knee, and we have the quad. And so if we start to focus on those directly, and then we can apply it to anything, not just Tai Chi, but anything. You can, once you start to train your body to like being in alignment, to like being able to be sung, to be able to rely on your connective tissue system, then I think it opens up to many possibilities in all kinds of movements. So why don't you please stand up, and we'll start exploring this. Okay, let's begin with our three nails, our three pillars, and start with our three nails. So you want to actually feel into your feet and just become aware of the medial line of your foot, that is along the big toe, and the inside of your foot. And just have that feeling. And going back to the ankle thing, so if you put your weight on the outside of your foot, notice how it kind of pushes your knees apart, and it kind of creates a strain in the ankles. So, but if we bring in the knees back so that you're lining them up over the insides of your feet, then that can all relax. We can become more sung. So feel those three nails, and start off by feeling the heel nail. So that gate there. And this is what Master Chen calls the anchor nail. I like to think of it as the yin nail. It's the one that establishes the substantiality of the body. And you set the knees so that they're relaxed over the medial line of the big toe line. And that allows you to release your qua as you do that. And this allows us to activate the yin chi of the earth. It rises up through the bubbling well point. And each breath, find yourself sinking down a little deeper. Place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth and breathe through your nose. Breathe down into your lower abdomen, into your dantian. Now reach up to the crown of your head, tuck in your chin, and open up the jade pillow gate. Here we're activating the yang pole, we're accessing the yang chi of the heavens. And we're doing both at the same time, the yin chi of the earth, the yang chi of the heavens. Each breath on allow yourself to sink a little more, get very strong, but you're not dropping physically. You're just releasing your muscular tension and allowing yourself to get more sung. You're able to, each breath allows you to trust your connective tissue system and your structure a little bit more. And as you do that, you're also just gently reaching up at the crown of the head, tucking in the chin, feeling that jade pillow gate at the base of your skull opening up, and allowing the Jingshen, the spirit of vitality, to rise. Now reach a little bit with your elbows. Your arms are just slightly rounded. Your arms are very sung. You have the shape, the rounded shape, but the muscles are all very relaxed. You open up your shoulder joints. Rotate your palms, your forearms, your palms face backward. At that point, reach with your index fingers and feel the energetic coherence. Feel the subtle changes in your body as you unify the whole system into a state of coherence, a state of wholeness. Notice the effect on your body, but also notice the effect it has on your mind. How it calms you, centers you, allows you to have very clear, calm focus. And let's relax the hip joint, Sung Kwa, and just spiral down to one side, then the other, nice and easy. And back to center. And let's just feel those 5 energy gates in your arm. And reach with your wrists. Initiate there. Your fingers are just hanging. Feel that. Reach with your elbows. You open your shoulder joints and feel your scapula. If you reach with your fingers, open that up and feel the connection there. Hold that position for a moment. Your back is open. Feel your scapulas pulling apart and back. Your shoulder joints are very relaxed. Your elbows are relaxed, but reaching. Your wrists are reaching. Your fingers are extended. Now reach down with your elbows so your Feel your shoulder blades relaxing, shoulder down with your wrist, down with your fingers. Reach down. Now we're going to initiate from the scapula. So you initiate, you feel your scapula, your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist, your fingers extend. And then pull back with your scapula, your shoulder, your elbow, wrist, fingers. Do with the other hand, scapula, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Reverse it, scapula, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Each of those individual gaits adds something to the process, helps you to get an alignment that permits you to express the energy in the most efficient way. Okay, so now let's put your right foot forward and just sink into your back leg, your left leg, and now just feel the heel of your right foot. That's our anchor nail. We established that. Now push your knee forward. So it's aligning up on the inside of your foot, but not too far forward, to just about the center of your foot. Now feel the ball of your foot and release down in your quad. Feel yourself kind of sitting down into that leg and press down with the big toe. And just feel that. Now feel your back foot. Feel the back heel and set the knee and release the quad. You're setting down in that. Feel the ball, press down with the big toe. This is just identifying these different gaits here. We're going to do an exercise in a minute where we're kind of put this to some use. We're going to go with the right heel, and push the knee forward, set the knee. So you're establishing that the structure that allows you to use the least amount of energy to get the work done. And then feel the ball of the foot, release the quad, press down with the big toe. And just feel the solidity, the stability of that posture. Now go into your back to your heel. And set the knee, release the quad, with the ball, big toe. Just feel each of those. I'm deliberately not doing this in a fixed sequence because I just want you to become aware of these different gaits. There will be times when the sequence is important, but right now we're just getting the feel of it. So right now we're going to move to an exercise that we've done in the past, but we're going to use that exercise to coordinate top and bottom. And we're going to do it real super slow so that we can really just focus on these energy gates as we do it. The exercise is called silk reeling, and I learned this, from Dr. Yang Dwing Ming like 30 years ago. But it's a cool exercise, and it looks like this. So the basic idea is I'm going to my front foot. I'm going to be drawing this big circle, and then sink into my back foot as I come down here, And then I'm going to make a figure 8 inside the circle. So then I'm going to come back into as I'm coming forward, going to my front foot, coming up, doing the top of the 8. Now I'm going to sink into my back foot and come around and do the bottom of the 8. And then it looks like this. So I go boom, do the 8, and then the circle. Okay, so we're going to be doing nice and slow. And the primary thing is to really get the coordination with the upper and the lower halves. So I'll turn my back to you and you can follow along here. So let's start with the right foot forward and get into a bow stance. So meaning that you want to have about a hip width stance and turn your back foot 45. So you're lined up like that. All right. So right foot. So the idea here, we're going to start just with the feet. So we're going to feel the heel nail spiral down to do the leg. So you want to do the heel nail, set the knee, spiral down to the left, and then you're turning, go into the ball of your foot, press down with the big toe. Now we go into the back heel, feel the heel nail, spiral down, and then ball, press down with the big toe. And then go into the front heel, spiral down to the left, and feel the ball, press down with the big toe. As we go, we make the downward part of the circle, we go into the back heel, ball, toe. Right heel, spiral to the left, ball, toe turning to the right. And then left heel, turning to the right, ball, toe. Right heel, spiral to the left, turn to the right, ball, toe. Back heel, spiral to the right, turn to the left, ball, toe. So that's the basic format there. We're going forward, turn, back, turn. So notice in my waist, if I just have my hands out like this, I'm going like this. I'm turning, da, 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 so that my navel is kind of directing as I go. Okay, and we're establishing our root and our foundation each step of the way. So let's do that with the arms now. Nice and slow. So feel the heel nail. And actually start your back leg. Here we go. Start your back leg. Feel the right heel and push your right knee forward as you begin to come up. Your hand comes up, palm facing out. So as if you're working, describing the outside of the circle. When we get to the top, we're going to go, and the palm is like. So you're inside this hula hoop, and you're going like this, but the hand is pressing outward on the hula hoop. Okay, so here we go. So we right heel, set the right knee. So you want to line that up along the medial line, and then we come up with the hand. We're pressing outside of the hula. We're going to the ball of the foot. The hand comes up into the big toes. We get to the top here. And you just pause there a moment. So you're feeling, this is the most yang part of it. You want to have your left hand kind of reaching back and feel that as a yin counterbalance to this. So that right hand is reaching its palm up here. as we reach the peak of that. So now we're going to begin to go the other direction, going to the yin side. So we sink into the left heel, set the left knee, rotate the forearm so the palm is now on the inside of the hoop coming down, and that's pressing down. And we get down to the bottom, feel the ball, and then the big toe. And feel that's where now we're at the bottom of this structure, this big hoop. The palm is facing down. Let's just do that again. So we go a right heel and set the knee and turn to your left. You're spiraling down to your left as your right hand comes up. Left hand reaching back. You're pressing out as you do that. Feel the scapula, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers as we do this. Keep going up, big toe, get to the top. Now I gotta feel the scapula, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers as we rotate. Sink into the left heel. Set the left knee, hand comes down. Left ball, left big toe. Feel that. Feel that connection there. And now we're going to make the figure 8 inside. We're going to go and right heel, push the right knee forward, set the knee as the hand comes up. And just like in the first one, the palm is out. It's like pressing out on the bottom half of the 8 as it comes up. Press, feel the big toe, or feel the ball and then the big toe as we get to the top of the 8. Now the palm is down. Feel that. Feel your shoulder, your scapula, your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist, your finger. Now feel your left heel. And spiral down to the right. As your hand comes down, it turns, your forearm turns so that you're pressing on the outside of the top 8 now. And you're feeling along, the palm is down, it's coming down along the top of the 8. And we get to the bottom, and now it's on the inside of the bottom half of the 8. And feel the ball, the big toe. Let's do that 8 again. So we right heel, push your right knee forward, set that, spiral down to the left. Your palm comes up, palm out. You're inside the bottom half of the 8. Now we turn to the right and we go to the top of the 8, on the outside of the top, palm down. And now we go into the left heel, spiral down to the right, and we're on the outside of the top half of the 8. Spiral down to the right, and then turn to the left. Palm down, and back to the bottom here. Right heel, set the knee, shoulder, or scapula, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Scapula, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Do the 8, bottom half of the 8. Okay, scapula, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Part of the 8, scapula, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Descending, left heel, set the left knee, Spiral down to the right. Ball. Big toe. Right heel. At the right knee. Relaxes, spiral down to the left. Sung. The qua. And comes up. Left heel. At the left knee. Spiral down to the right. And comes down. To the 8. Scapula. Shoulder. Elbow. Wrist. Fingers. Scapula, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Scapula, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Scapula, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Now let's do it silently. Just follow along just feel it in your body. The circle. Back leg. Do the 8. Front leg. Back leg. And pause.
You should shift feet to the other side, dude. Otherwise, you guys are gonna feel
That's what I'm
lopsided.
doing. That's why we're pausing here.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for your input. Okay, so now we're going to do the left side. Step forward with your left foot. Weight in the back foot. Now let's just do the circle first. The left heel, knee, quad. Turn to the left, palm down. Right heel. Set the right knee, spiral to the left, and comes down. Another circle. Left heel, set the left knee. Turn to the right. Right heel, set the right knee. Turn to the left. Let's do the figure 8. Left heel. Set the left knee. Wah. Turn to the left. Turn to the right. Down to the left. Turn to the right. Down to the right. Come up. Set the knee. Turn. Turn to the left. Down to the left. To the right. Anyway, so putting the feet and the arm together. Left heel, set the left knee, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers, ball, toe. Heel, the right heel, spiral down to the left. I'm sorry, no, spiral down to the left and pressing outward, ball, toe. So we're doing figure 8. Here we go. Just do the whole thing. The circle, heel, ball, toe, scapula, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Figure 8. Left heel, set the knee. Left palm facing out, coming up. Turn to the left. Circle the outside of the top part of the 8. Right heel, spiral down to the left. And finish. Left heel. Left ball. Left toe. Right heel. Right ball. Right toe. Left heel. Shoulder. Scapula, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Back heel, scapula, shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers. Feel that claw, so you're spiraling down to the right, coming up, turning to the left. Back heel, spiral down to the left, turn to the right. Figure 8. Spiral down to the left, turn to the right. Spiral down to the left, turn to the right. Scapula, shoulder, wrist, elbow, wrist, fingers. Scapula, shoulder, 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 elbow, wrist, fingers. Do it silently.
Can you turn around?
Can I turn around?
Yeah, just to have one going through forward.
So it looks like, coming forward. So there we go. So we're left heel.
You don't have to talk it. You
Don't have
can,
to talk, just to go, okay. Left heel, ball, toe. Right heel, ball, toe.
thank you.
Okay, and go to the neutral stance. Let's feel the Song. Each breath, just let go a little bit more and allow the energy to circulate freely throughout the whole system. And step in. Take a deep breath. And Disappear the chi. Please have a seat. Okay, any thoughts, questions, comments, observations? Richard?
I did have a bit of a realization, perhaps. Um, I think in standing, I can sung to the point where I feel like everything is hanging off my skeleton and fascia.
Beautiful.
And I think that since I know that I can feel it then,
Mm-hmm.
the goal is to feel it in movement.
Beautiful.
So I've got some place to start.
That's fantastic. No, that awareness is golden. So getting to that point, that's after that, it's like you're right. You can have a reference point now for everything going forward. Perfect. Anybody else? Ben.
I found that I had to really watch my JBS problems, right? I found it, well, not that I had to really watch it, but it made me very aware of just the smallest bit of being out of alignment with the jutting hip. And as soon as I would just let that go, then everything would flow and move together again, you know. But if I had just that little bit, then it was just very sticky point. So I know that wasn't the point of this exercise, but it was really useful for me and
Yeah.
making the whole thing flow together.
Well, it actually was the point of the exercise, because we're getting the alignment so that we can move correctly, so we can move efficiently. So, JBS, the for folks tracking at home, that's jutting butt syndrome, and that's if you any lateral movement of your butt is going to get in the way of your ability to get Song Hua and also to be able to have any kind of root at all. So if you initiate by moving laterally or front to back with your butt, then you are you're we have what we call jutting butt syndrome, which then pulls your knee out of alignment, which then pulls the whole lower structure. So it's exactly what we're talking about. So that's perfect. So just that awareness of like, oh yeah, this is this
Oh
is
yeah.
this is not
Whoops.
this is not where I want to be here. Is a really important observation. Having that is another one of those markers that you can say, okay, I have that awareness of. I know when I'm doing it incorrectly. So now what? Beautiful. Anybody else? Valerie.
Well, Lynn was ahead of me, and I'm kind of more over here with Richard of just, I had to stop thinking, and I was feeling my feet, um, and then, trying to feel, the gates in the arms as well. I would have to do one or the other because it wasn't happening really well together for me. And then when I just went from one to, feeling one to the other, the gates in my arms or the gates in my legs, I could make it much more sung, you know. I'm gonna have to, because I have the JBS as well, that I don't nail. So I'm gonna practice with that and see if I can experience what Lynn was so right on about. But lots of stuff flowing around there.
Yeah.
Lots of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Did it help to have the challenge of this somewhat unfamiliar exercise and put these elements into that a form that we don't do all the time?
Not for me.
No, you didn't like it?
I've never been able to get silk reeling. and it hurts my brain. I was great up until that point. I was great. I was great. You know, even when you started integrating the arms and the legs and going really slow and talking through it, it was fantastic. But then I just got in my head and I was
Mm.
trying to following Valerie, but it's a tough. It's silk reeling's tough too because we can't see your arm, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if we were the other way, then it would be confusing because we'd have to do everything opposite.
Well,
But
maybe we could switch sides.
that's just me. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah, yeah. Nick, you had next.
Yeah, so it's just when I was first learning this, I got the notion to and I don't remember where I picked it up, who showed me this, but I got a piece of muslin about 5 or 6 feet wide and 4 feet high, and I drew two yin yang symbols, one right and left, and learned by tracing those. It gave me a way to work on the exercise without having to get lost in trying to keep the figure eight going and all of that straight. I found it really helpful in the beginning because I could let go of that and I just had this image to follow for whatever that's worth.
Yeah. What I would like to emphasize that the point was not to do silk reeling fantastically. It was to feel those energy gates and to be able to do something that you're not familiar with and to access the energy gates as their own thing. So I definitely did not expect people to get silk reeling from that little bit, but to be able to, oh, what does it feel like to feel those things being activated at different times? Because it's a lot to think about, and I don't expect you to memorize the exercise if I'm directing your attention to feel your scapular. It's like, you're you don't have to remember where you're going with it. It just, oh yeah, this is what it feels like. So it's really the point of emphasis of this whole thing was just to get us to feel the thing. Jonathan.
Yeah, in terms of that feeling, it's like a species of cloud waving hands somehow. There's something similar to me. To get the arms is almost hypnotic, and yet there's so much work to create that doing nothing effect of the arm kind of floating, the scapula, the shoulder, and that's kind of cool to put those two together. But as you know, I've become entranced with cloud waving hands. I'll get up from my desk reading all the time, and I'll start doing it just to interrupt my day with it. And this it has some of that, right? There's just some lightness with the arm in perpetual motion in that way. So I very much enjoyed it. Thank you for this.
Oh, good. Richard.
Well, just another bit of what tonight's class has started me thinking. After your description of your experience being compared to the concert pianist, I'm starting to think now that the concert pianist, the difference between the concert pianist, generally speaking, it's not always the truth, and the person who's been practicing piano for 10 years and has gotten quite good at it, but not like the concert pianist. It made me think that the concert pianist, like the professional athlete, is in the zone. And now I'm starting to think that being in the zone is developing the ability for your connective tissue system to take over the activity.
Cool. That was the hypothesis of the book, of my first book. I started off by comparing it to the zone. And so you're exactly right on point there. That's exactly what I'm going for.
And I think that what you're trying to help us learn to do is to move toward that now instead of after 30 years of diligent practice.
Right. If we can start by going to the zone,
right,
and then learn something completely new,
right. Right.
From that, then my hypothesis is that we're going to learn it a whole lot faster and better than if we go the other way. We practice until eventually we get to the zone,
Right.
and however long that takes.
Well, I've been suspecting it, but now I see it pretty clearly.
Great, good.
Thank you.
Good. Oh, you're welcome. Good. So yeah, I deliberately challenge you with this to make you go to that place. Go with the can we find the sum? Can we find the pong in these movements, which are not necessarily familiar or easily duplicated?
Or muscular.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
I just want to make a slight ad for the silk reeling. If you don't think too much and just do it for the feel, like start off by, doing your energy gates and then just do the exercise for the feel, because it's really kind of exhilarating if you do right hand and then you switch feet and do left hand and then you switch feet and do right hand. And it without thinking too much, just trust that you're using, your arm and your.
And that's what Jonathan's talking about and comparing it to cloud hands. Yeah, that we're just doing it and we're not thinking about it too much. And this exercise was the opposite of that.
I know,
This
but
it was intentionally to get people to think about what they're doing each step of the way, and do that until you don't have to think. So that becomes till you're feeling it. You're saying, oh, that's what it feels like to have my root, in my heel. This is what it's like to have my root in the ball of my foot. That kind of, you're developing that awareness by slowing things down and actually distinguishing things. But this is not to take away from the
fun of
the
speeding
fun
it up.
of just doing it. Yeah, and that's great too. Different exercise, and
No, but I just meant for Scott to take his mind out of it and just go for the feel.
uh-huh.
Go for the feel of it.
I wanted his mind in it.
Oh, sorry. Never mind.
My whole intention here was to overdrive the system and to really kind of take it to a different place. What Richard's saying there about the zone. If we can kind of overdrive the system, take it past the point where out of the comfort zone and into something that's a little uncomfortable, that's where the flow state happens. It's whenever you're pushed past your comfort zone and you're into something a little more challenging. Yeah, Lynn.
Well, I'm just a little confused when you said the point. I understand you're saying the point was to try something that we didn't know, which didn't work for us because we knew it. But I mean,
Still got a chance
I thought
to,
the point was to be thinking about or being aware of each of the gates, right? And
Right.
that. So is that thinking about them, right? Is that having our mind in it, or is that becoming aware of them and no longer needing mind to be in it?
well,
Or is that
my process is think about it until you don't have to think about it.
right? Okay, yeah,
So,
exactly.
And people just go into it. I'm just going to just go through these motions and not think about it. That will give you a certain thing, and that's kind of that. Just kind of just do it for the flow of it, for the fun of it, and that's cool. But to actually know what you're doing, and really you're identifying these qualities that we're trying to cultivate here, which then make it so that we can apply them to anything.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm going for with this, which means that you have to work at it until you don't have to work at it.
Got it.
Right.
Makes sense.
Anybody else?
I would
Yeah.
say I found it hard to work at it because I couldn't figure out if I was moving the hands in the right direction and as I thought about it, I wasn't flying. I guess I just defaulted to going with the flow, and then it felt, I don't know if I was going right to left or left to right when I should have been, but that's when it felt like the energy was flowing, when I just relaxed with it. So maybe I didn't catch the whole point of the exercise.
Well, it's the point of the exercise is to challenge, you. So if it took you, to a point where you're like, this is a bit much, that's great. Because it was not to give you a simple exercise which you can then memorize and just do without thinking. This is one where getting it so that you can actually feel what it feels like to move from your scapula. I mean, who thinks about that? It's not
Right.
It's not a common thing. But if you don't think about it, if you don't actually say, hey, I'm going to move from my scapula, you're probably not gonna.
Right.
Yeah. It's just not something that will pop up. You have to use our conscious mind to put it there until we say, oh, that's more efficient. That's a fun thing to do. Let's do it that way.
Mhm.
And then you can then start to apply in everything. Yeah, Richard.
As we're making a move that begins with a basic gait and progresses, like the moves in the arm, progressing through 4 or 5 gaits to the fingers, do the beginning gaits remain open all the way through?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So and you can start either way. You can start any place. You can
Sure.
reach with your elbow, right, wrist, fingers, shoulder,
Any movement. Yeah.
And so, but you're and it's actually a good thing to do, to be able to have your awareness so that you can improvise your movements. So I'm not teaching you, hey, memorize this and then be able to repeat it, whenever you need to. No, this is creating new neural connections that you're then able to access, at will.
Yeah.
So you're thinking as you make a movement, open, 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 open.
Right. And also to notice when you're not. Notice that,
Right.
oh, my shoulder's tight.
Right.
Oh, my elbow is way up by my ear. To be able to be aware of these things, and so that you're able to then move gracefully. Your arm has that quality where it's just like
So the
like
the better you get at sequential opening,
Better you are.
the better you get.
yeah. Oh, the better you get at sequential opening, the less effort you're putting into the movement.
Not that, but also the more internal power you're able to generate.
Right.
That's really it's not just being able, like it goes back to what I said at the beginning, not just about being able to relax, because we can do that. It's about how can I generate internal power, with a minimum of muscular contraction.
Exactly.
So that it keeps coming down. Nick, you had something?
I was just going to, at the risk of restating the obvious, I think we have to use our minds to find these places first, to be able to practice opening them so that then we can make use of them without thinking about them, which is basically what you've been saying all along. But it's just, yeah.
That's good. That's a good summary. Yeah, it bears repeating over and over again, and best by people other than me. So, so it doesn't sound like a harangue. That's why I like Maria to do. What Rick's trying to say here is, and then I can. Oh yeah. Oh, that makes more sense than the way he said it. Yeah. So, but good. Anybody else? This has been it's been a great conversation here.
Well, what Maria's trying to say is Rick puts you through the pain of going through it so slowly that you can then get so that you can have fun doing it a little faster.
That's right.
I like the wordplay.
Good cop, bad cop. Okay, great. Thank you all so much. This has been terrific.
Thanks, all. Thanks,
all.
Maria.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Maria.